Not many home games remain on that schedule outside the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee, but when you come in, you get a pink t-shirt today as we play for K here in Milwaukee. The Butler Bulldogs visit the Marquette Golden Eagles with Big East standing spots on the line. Glad to be with you on this Sunday afternoon, along with my partner Kyle Dolabe. I'm Patrick Reed, and Kyle, we're getting to a point in this season where you're always looking at the standings, what these teams will see they like, but there's opportunity to move up.
Both of these teams have been impressive in conference play, and it shows in the standings. They're going to be fighting for that second spot this afternoon with just a few games left to play in the conference season.
So Butler likes what they are, sitting at 9-4 in the league table, right behind Marquette. They have one of the most dynamic offensive performers in the Big East, Kristen Spoiler, who has put up some big numbers in her career.
She's a big-time player. She's definitely a superstar, and she had another big game Friday against DePaul as she continues to move up the all-time leading scorers in Butler history. Look for her to get a lot of time on the offensive end for Butler as they try to defeat Marquette today.
Yeah, and a 30-point game to her credit against Marquette in the first meeting between these teams this season. As for Marquette, they really had to empty the tank against Xavier in this building on Friday night to come away with a win. Isabel Spin'gola's offense was a big reason why.
It's a big-time game for her. She had 3 consecutive games prior to Friday without a three-pointer made, and her offense, when she gets it going, it can really make the difference for Marquette as they continue to improve, going towards the Big East tournament, going towards the NCAA tournament as well.
Yeah, a 21-point effort for her against Xavier. The last time these teams matched up, it was a Butler win at Hinkle Fieldhouse, but both coaches see a lot of parallels between their two teams. Piper Shaw has more on that.
Thanks, Patrick. Marquette head coach Megan Duffy says that playing Butler is kind of like playing themselves. It's a little bit like looking in a mirror and figuring out how to beat yourself. She said that when they saw Butler last month, they just simply got out-toughed. She said they need to be playing better defense today. And Butler head coach Godlewski says that they feel the same way when they play Marquette. He says that the key to today's game will be all about executing and making sure that they make more shots. Patrick?
Coach Kurt Godlewski and the Butler Bulldogs had won 5 games in a row, entering their Friday tilt at DePaul. It was a night where they really struggled against pressure. But one thing they do well is defend. One of their best defenders, Shea Bry, playing her final college basketball game in her home state of Wisconsin.
She's been a big part of this program for a number of years for this Butler team, and she'll loom large in the post matchups for Butler as they face off against not only Van Cloonan, but the development offensively of senior Althea Anderson and, of course, the freshman Cameron Taylor. And I think what's impressive about Taylor is the way she's able to get shots up in the minutes that she's able to play. When she gets in, she's going to make herself known on the offensive end.
Yeah, so from our look at the second best defensive team in the Big East, scoring defense, the top scoring defense is the Marquette Golden Eagles. Their best defender back in the lineup today. Selena Lott sat out against Xavier on Friday. Lott has become a stellar offensive player in this league, but for her, it begins with defense.
Yeah, to win that game without Lott says a lot about Marquette. They had to push it a little bit there at the end to make sure they got the victory against Xavier, but Lott does so much for this team, and she plays with so much confidence on both ends of the floor as she knows the spots that she needs to get to, especially to set her teammates up, as she is one of the best offensive creators in all of the Big East.
As Piper talked about, a lot of similarities between Marquette and Butler. Butler, a 6-point win at Hinkle Fieldhouse, January 17th. Bulldogs have won 2 straight games against Marquette in the regular season. Zach Frost, Linda Miles, Scott Freeling, our officials this afternoon. Marquette looking for its 9th straight win inside the Al McGuire Center. It was not an easy effort in this building against a 2-21 Xavier team on Friday night. Musketeers trimming Marquette's lead to just 3 late in the third quarter, early in the fourth. Van Cloonan flashes open to get Marquette started on this Sunday.
And that's a good patient play by Marquette. It seemed like Butler had stifled the Golden Eagles a bit on that first offensive possessions, but backdoor right there, Van Cloonan with the easy one.
Paint touches, paint scoring is one way that Marquette is successful offensively, maybe the best way they're successful. So we see Butler's offense go to work. Limited against DePaul on Friday nights. Genesis Parker's 3 misses. Rebound grabbed by Lauren Van Cloonan. Marquette remains the best rebounding team in the Big East. One of the best in the country as King cruises in through contact. And there's a foul on the inside against Parker.
I think that caught Butler off guard a little bit. King going right to the hole. King asked to kind of set up the offense for Marquette and get things moving, but she saw a seam and took advantage of it. Now she's got a couple of free throws.
I think that's an interesting point about Jordan King, Kyle, as we've gotten to this second round of the round robin in the Big East. Maybe it's time to break out some different things from an offensive perspective if you're Marquette, and if you have a player like Jordan King, who was such a prolific scorer in high school at 2,500 points.
Yeah, it's such a shift for her having to be the point guard as a freshman in big-time college basketball, going from the go-to player in many facets and just having to change her mindset. It's been tough, but the coaching staff has been happy with her performance.
So 5 points in the first 63 seconds for Marquette. Time for Kristen Spoiler and Butler to go to work. Catherine Strong on the turnaround jumper.
She was big against DePaul on Friday, a career-high 15 points for her. She's going to be a big part of the offense, especially Butler once again being without one of their top scorers in Tura. She's second on Butler in scoring in Big East play.
Isabel Spin'gola trying to pick up where she left off through the legs of Altia Anderson, but she's able to save it. Anderson, a player we highlighted on Friday, a player that is really dealing with all the bumps and aches that you deal with at this part of the season, as Lauren Van Cloonan has her second buckets.
Yeah, another good feed into Van Cloonan right around the basket. Getting her going early is always a good sign for Marquette.
Spoiler at the other end, limited somewhat on Friday, gets the scoring started for her day.
She's going to make things happen on the offensive end. She's going to get her shots up, and if she can make it look as easy as that, that's a good sign for Butler.
13 points against DePaul, but a 30-point effort against Marquette in the last meeting between these teams. Marquette wants to live in the paint. Van Cloonan's pass tipped away by Shea Bry.
Yeah, smart double team by there, and then to cut off the pass-in lane with the deflection.
Bry is that type of player that always has hands in the way. Moves well, moves to the basketball. Maybe the top defender in the Big East Conference, Isabel Spin'gola, the top three-point shooter in the league.
Yeah, picking up where she left off on Friday, knocking down the triple. That could be one area where Marquette could find an edge in this one.
You look at 21 points for her scoreless in the first quarter against Xavier. Bry left alone for 3. Anderson the board. Had 8 of them against Xavier. She has returned strong to the lineup, returned strong last Sunday against St. John's. With a 7-for-7 performance. Lots back in for Marquette. Long pass across. Fire from Spin'gola. Catch and shoot. Make it a second 3.
Great passing there by the Golden Eagles. The skip pass finds its way over to Spin'gola, who knocks down her second straight three-pointer, and she has to be feeling good for this weekend.
They're finding her in rhythm right now. And it's hard to stop a shooter when things are feeling good. There's a foul underneath. 3-pointers, the story again today. The story again for Isabel Spin'gola.
Great on the catch and shoot for the Golden Eagles. 4 assists, 4 made field goals for Marquette so far.
20 to shoot for the Bulldogs. Bry running into Van Cloonan. They'll turn it over for Butler. First turnover of the game for either team.
Yeah, a little bit of a shuffle right there for Butler, and they're going to put a little pressure on King, which he gets it over.
These are two teams that have some high turnover rates for their records. Butler better than 17 a game. Marquette just under 17. Anderson looking for space inside.
The confidence that she shows in that sort of situation is big for Marquette, and has shown how much she's developed offensively her senior season. Is she's able to draw the foul, just go right at her defender, and almost finish the three-point play.
Nida Caceres on the recovery picks up the personal foul.
Yeah, it's a veteran player that she's going up against as well. So one matchup to watch moving forward is there's going to be some interesting post play in this afternoon's contest.
Well, Marquette 4 for 4 at the foul line to begin the game. And they have scored the last 8 points. Against DePaul on Friday, the pressure was relentless for Butler, especially over the second and third quarters. They turned the ball over 20 times. DePaul outscored the Bulldogs 31-19 in the third quarter. Bry back up. Second chance points for Shea Bry.
Those are the plays that Butler needs to make. Those are the plays that they made against Marquette last time these two teams faced out in Indianapolis, where Butler came out on top.
Bry from the lacrosse area, 250 miles from Milwaukee. Spin'gola makes it 3. A 3 for 4 starts.
When she's putting up shots like that, she knows she's feeling good, as she had a defender right in her grill and still was able to drain that one.
Already 9 for Isabel Spin'gola. Butler needs a good possession here. Spoiler will crack it. Solita Lott acting as distributor. He's the Big East leader in assists. Anderson on the turnaround, face up.
Things are running through Van Cloonan right now. She's got 2 field goals and 3 assists for Marquette.
And then Anderson playing defense. Anderson on the acceleration to the cup left-handed. Timeout, Butler. Kurt Godlewski has to get things together on his side. For Marquette, everything cooking right now. Isabel Spin'gola cooking once again. 3 for 4 from range for Marquette.
You're watching Marquette Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Marquette has made 6 of its first 8 shots in the game. Isabel Spin'gola, 9 of Marquette's 19 points. What Megan Duffy said about the first time these teams matched up is that Butler made it really difficult for us defensively, and that's what you expect with a team in Butler that is second in the league in points allowed, second in the league in defensive field goal percentage. But Marquette has done a really good job of taking them to 2 ways, one in the paint and one outside the arc.
Their offensive movement has been really special so far in this one, to score 19 points with almost half a quarter left. I mean, Butler's a little bit on their heels right now, and that's why they called the timeout.
Meanwhile, the Bulldogs, 3 of their first 8. Trying to find some rhythm on this road trip. Spoiler will hope to change that. Spoiler back up. Anderson's hands were there, and that's the impact Altia Anderson makes on the defensive end. She has gone 12 straight games with a blocked shot. The lob in for Cameron Taylor, broken up nicely by Bry.
Yeah, I could see that one coming. Spoiler coming with the help side defense.
And Spoiler going to pull the string. Kristen Spoiler knocks down Butler's first from 3.
Yeah, she's got that look in her eye. She's ready to fill it up for Butler any way possible.
Taylor, contact inside.
You just look at the game-by-game numbers for Taylor, and you know she's not a huge minutes player, but she's been a big part of this rotation all year, and she gets her shots up. She knows how to score around the basket and be a big part of this offense right when she gets on the floor. She's got a lot of talent, a lot of baskets left in her Marquette career.
So you look at her production for the season to this point, which is just under 10 points per game. She's shooting 51%. I think, Kyle, one of the things that's most impressive is that she doesn't always have those great nights shooting the basketball, but she doesn't stop shooting when she gets it.
And so that she sits at 51%, she's going to have games where she's at a really high, efficient clip, and that can be a big advantage when you're coming off the bench.
Spoiler scored on the last possession for Butler. Kristen Spoiler, 3rd in the Big East in scoring at 18.8 per game. Oh, step back Spoiler for 3. Would have been pretty if it went down. And Megan Duffy this week called her a nasty baller, and that was a compliment, and you see her skill and the reason that she earns that distinction. A lot of toughness both ends of the floor through the hands of Taylor. She'll recover. Taylor turning it around. Blocked shots from Ashanti Thomas. Making a difference with her 6'4" frame. 3-pointer from Atuso. Yupe Atuso in the starting lineup for the 5th time this season. Logging some minutes with Umo Toure on the shelf as she battles with symptoms from a concussion. Spin'gola steps inside the arc. It's her 2nd miss of the game. So the ranks a little thin right now for Kurt Godlewski's team. And it's King on the long 3. A rebound for Thomas.
Marquette offense has slowed down just a little bit here lately as Butler is settling in.
Caceres on the roll left side. And it's Spoiler, stopped up by Anderson, who made things awfully difficult on Butler's top scorer. She wanted the tip. Wanted the ball off Anderson's hands. But to no avail, it'll be Marquette basketball. There's Chloe Murata. This is her first action of the day. The sophomore from Mequon, just under 5 points per game. Brother Cam, part of the Marquette men's coaching staff, former walk-on player. Father Mark was an academic All-American for the Golden Eagles in the 1980s. Good pass inside of the no-look from Murata.
The plays coaches dream of right there. Boom, boom, boom. Another layup for Marquette right off the bench. Murata making it happen with some help from her teammates.
Really dynamic passing, then a Butler turnover on the 3-second violation. It's their 2nd of the game.
Butler still struggling from the field. They're 1 for their last 8. They've only turned it over twice in this one so far, but just can't hit a ton of shots right now. 29% from the field. Spoiler trying to do everything for her team to will them, but it's 2 for 6 for her so far.
Murata into the double. Turns it over to Parker. Genesis Parker on the fly. Will pull out. Try to set Butler for a good possession here with 55 seconds left in the quarter. Trouble. Tuso needs help. Parker with a basketball and 10 to shoot. Genesis Parker trying to work on Lotz. Foul away from the play. That's Solina Lott's first foul. Tuso looking back at Coach Kurt Godlewski. They're trying to carry something positive out of this opening quarter where not a lot has gone their way. Strong, long three. Rebound grabbed by Thomas, who will turn. A turnover for Butler is number 3. A little bit discouraging for the 6th-year head coach of the Butler Bulldogs, who said it's been a pretty good week of preparation for them. Good focus, good practices. We've talked about the dog days of the season at times in these shows, and he says his team has done a really good job of fighting that off. Unfortunately, this road trip has so far not gone according to script in the first 5 quarters. Getting back to Friday, there's Taylor. Double dribbled with, check that, it'll be a foul.
There's still quite a bit of time left in this one for Butler to figure it out, but definitely have to agree with the way things have gone so far this weekend. They gotta find something to rewrite the script at this point.
1 second for King. Yes! Jordan King before the buzzer. Makes it a 25-point first quarter for Marquette. Doing everything right offensively. And Jordan King with a moment to send Marquette to the bench to talk things over after a good first quarter here in Milwaukee.
You're watching Butler Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Single session tickets for the 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Championship presented by Jeep are now on sale with tickets starting as low as $15. All session booklets are still available with 9 game passes starting at just $50. The conference postseason returns to Wintrust Arena in downtown Chicago in the South Loop March 6th through the 9th. Coach Gert Godlewski and his Butler Bulldogs trying to figure things out after a less than ideal start to this game. A 4 for 15 offensive performance for Butler, trying to look for rhythm in its offense and its half-court sets. Marquette making it difficult, giving a little bit of what Butler gave to them defensively in the game in Hinkle Fieldhouse here today.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Marquette is playing at home, playing with confidence, and it's feeling a little bit better than they did Friday night, especially having Selena Lott back is helpful.
A 4th Butler turnover on an offensive foul by Nida Caceres. And the 3rd member of our team, Piper Shaw, got a chance to listen in on Butler's huddle at the quarter break.
That's right, a tough first quarter for the Bulldogs, and they know it. Coach Godlewski knows it. He says that they've just got to do better. They need to spread out the court. He says they need to be playing lower and stronger. He says this isn't our game. You guys are not playing how I know you can play. And he'd really like to just see some rebounds. He said let's take advantage of those rebounds. He said this quarter is really critical for them. They've got to take this second quarter, guys.
I think that's right on the money, Piper, and I think it starts with some good possessions here to start the quarter.
They have to take advantage of these opportunities and get into their offense a little bit quicker.
Catherine Strong with a strong move to open up Butler's second.
And she's one of the players that can make things happen here for Butler in the second quarter if they want to eat into this Golden Eagle lead. Now is the time to do it with some pressure here right at the midcourt line.
Well, Butler is making things really difficult for Marquette. Selena Lott got trapped in at the half-court line.
A very heady play by Spoiler. She knew exactly where she wanted Selena Lott to go, just past the midcourt line, and then put the pressure on and force the turnover.
That's Kyle Delabe along with Piper Shaw and our fine Big East crew in Milwaukee. I'm Patrick Reed. Marquette trying to win its 9th in a row here in Milwaukee against a Butler team that had won 5 games in a row. Entering its Friday tilt at DePaul, which was an 89-60 loss.
We're going to call a moving screen on Strong here, as just trying to create some space for Tuso going strong along the baseline. A little bit of a confusion on that one from the Butler coaching staff.
It's the second foul of the second quarter, second offensive foul for the Bulldogs, first for Catherine Strong. And they're going to switch right into pressure mode and bring all 5 players into the backcourt. So King has to work through the double. Anderson at midcourt caught. Parker hands on the basketball. Butler is making it really difficult for Marquette when they hit that stripe.
In terms of where the game stands right now, this is a very smart move by Butler to put some pressure on the Golden Eagles. Marquette slowed down offensively a little bit in that first quarter.
Nice play by Parker. Parker, before she could get to the cup, defended by Jordan King. Going from offense to defense.
Right now, Butler's trying to switch this momentum, and they've started to make some plays here in the early going into the second quarter that shows they can.
Skipped across to Caceres for 3. Butler just 1 for 8.
Those are the kind of looks they're trying to get to.
Relentless pressure, broken by Marquette. Lot across, Spin'gola, tough catch. Defensive Tuso in front of her. And then a lob away from Van Cloonan, who was going the wrong direction. Spoiler to Parker. And Parker, tough into the lane, will draw contact. Smart move there by Genesis Parker with things unsettled to get to the lane to try to get contact.
And we are very early in this second quarter, and Marquette has already committed 4 turnovers compared to just 2 in the first quarter. So the pressure is definitely making a difference, not only in the backcourt as Marquette's trying to bring it up, but Butler's ratcheted up the pressure as well in Marquette's half-court sets.
Genesis Parker at the line. A 64% foul shooter. Butler is the third school that she has played at. Redshirt junior from Bristow, Virginia. Started her career at Virginia Tech, in her home state. Cincinnati, now here. Found a home in Indianapolis. Kurt Godlewski's been really impressed with the maturity. She has displayed still high hopes that with another year plus remaining, she can get to be an elite level player. Elite hands there shown by Spoiler.
Another deflection there by Butler as they continue to try to make things happen on the defensive end. It's still a 12-point advantage for Marquette, but the Golden Eagles have yet to score in this second quarter.
Off Spin'gola's hand, she can't save it. So turnover is starting to pile up for Marquette.
Check that,
now
Marquette
7.
has scored 2 points so far. No. I thought they had. Just looking at the box score, throwing me off right now.
You can't trust the numbers sometimes. The big board.
Trust
and has another offensive foul.
I'm supposed to trust my brain in that situation.
Well, I don't know if I trust my brain in all situations. So Genesis Parker.
Turnovers mounting up for both teams.
Well,
getting a little sloppy here. Anderson sliding in.
Again, Parker looking for the contact. But this time, too much of it coming from her. Lubo on the headman pass. Lubo. A rebound from Van Cloonan to find a wide open Isabel Spin'gola, who cans the three. Tuso drawing more contact in the lane.
If you're Marquette and you're looking to get off the schneid, Spin'gola is not a bad choice, especially when she gets a wide open look like that. She makes it happen.
So Yupe Tuso will shoot a pair of free throws here. An 81% foul shooter. Coming off a 10-point game at DePaul, but a game where she and her teammates really struggled with the DePaul pressure. Tuso 4 turnovers as a team. Butler had 20 of them. But Butler in this game has done a good job of making things difficult the other way for Marquette. Now, they want to take better care of the basketball as well.
Part of me just feels like Butler had an opportunity to cut in this lead a little bit more. Another turnover for Marquette. You know, and Butler hasn't really been able to cut into it too much so far. As Marquette's sitting on just 3 points in this second quarter. Butler's only +2 for the quarter. They're at 5 points. Despite all those turnovers for Marquette, 6 in the quarter.
Butler looking to roll into some rhythm here. Tuso, three-pointer. Marquette, its 14th rebound.
Yeah, Butler just can't get anything going for multiple possessions.
Stepping inside is Anderson. Rebound for Bry, who started the second quarter on the bench for Butler. Tuso wanting to take it inside once again. Finds Spoiler on the roll. Can't roll it home. So when times are tough, the challenge is going to be locking down on defense. This is a Butler team that is capable of doing exactly that.
Yeah. You have to continue to play really tough defense despite not making things happen on the offensive end. And there's another opportunity here for Butler.
In rhythm, Bry can't score it. Spoiler's foul. That's her first.
Rebounding making a difference in this one so far, as Marquette doing what they need to do on the glass. A big rebound by Spin'gola, takes the contact. And you look at Anderson already grabbing 8 rebounds.
Five apiece for these teams in the second quarter. Van Cloonan has room, but Van Cloonan is fouled.
Had to believe there was some sort of contact, as she looked like she was going to cruise in for an easy bucket, similar to the 2 shots she knocked down in the first quarter, but it looks like she was hit on the left arm there by Strong, and she'll go to the free throw line to try to get her 2 points.
So before the second quarter is 5 minutes old, Butler has 5 personal fouls. Now when you're playing defense, now you've got to play that defense a little bit smarter, because otherwise those points are going to pile up.
Just a very weird quarter. Butler's forced 7 turnovers, but they're only 1 for 6 from the field, as somehow they've been worse shooting after that subpar first quarter shooting.
Then a foul inside against Butler. Now the offensive fouls are becoming a problem. 16 fouls. As Butler has passed the limit in the second quarter, Kurt Godlewski looking for some answers for his team.
You're watching Marquette basketball on Big East Digital Network.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men, for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
The month of pink continues here in Milwaukee inside the Al McGuire Center as teams around the Big East Conference are helping to bring awareness to cancer, bring awareness to other diseases. Today we play for K inside the Al McGuire Center. The legendary North Carolina State coach Kay Yow, and Marquette donating money from today, raised today here inside the Al McGuire Center to that Kay Yow Foundation. Each of the first 750 fans through the door received pink t-shirts as well. So once again, Big East teams stepping out to do something for causes bigger than themselves, and we see that around the league this month. So Lena Lott getting it in rhythm from Isabel Spin'gola. First points for Lott.
And Marquette getting their second bucket of the quarter, taking over 5 minutes to get there, but Butler still hasn't hit their second field goal of the quarter.
Well, Spoiler was left alone for a second off the hands of Strong. And a foul is whistled underneath the Butler baskets. Piper Shaw got a chance to listen on the Marquette huddle during the last break.
That's right, and Coach Duffy, when she walked over to her team for that timeout, she had a smile on her face, but she says, guys, we're up, but we're acting like we're down by 20. She said they just need to get back to their fundamentals despite, they've got a pretty solid lead, but she says just we don't need to be overreacting, stay calm. And she also said that they obviously need to break the pressure that Butler is bringing. She said they got to be physical if they have to, but if they can break that pressure, they got to do 2-on-1.
Isn't that always true, though, to make things simple when maybe they're a little bit complicated? When Butler makes it complicated, but Marquette finds a way to break it as Cameron Taylor scores.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, Marquette's been lucky that those turnovers didn't turn into much of anything for Butler in this one. The Golden Eagles still up 18 as we get to the late stages here this first half. And you do have to credit Marquette's defense for being a big part of how Butler shot the basketball in this game.
Spoiler left off balance, and her floater won't fall.
Especially with the way they've shadowed Spoiler, kind of one-on-one on the perimeter and some help as she gets inside the three-point line.
Lubo off the roll, offensive foul. 10th turnover for Marquette. Picked up by the freshman Norel Lubo. On the pass reception from Spin'gola, hard crash into Shea Bryan. Again, it's Bry at the center of these defensive plays for Butler.
She's made a name for herself in this conference for the way that she can play on the defensive end, and that play is definitely shows why.
She is making a strong case for the Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Senior from Altoona, Wisconsin. Outside of Eau Claire, northwest of Milwaukee. Parker looking for contact. Again, Genesis Parker doing a really good job of seeing where she can go to get that contact and get to the line.
Yeah, she's definitely a pass-first point guard, but there's been opportunities in this game where she's seen a chance where she can get towards the basket. She's able to draw the foul from Claire Kafis.
All of these free throws and chances at the line really important for Butler. Well, Genesis Parker, maybe some of the most important free throws of the season so far, put Butler ahead with 1:46 to go in the last meeting between these teams at Hinkle Fieldhouse on January 17th, which was a 6-point Butler win and perhaps the signature win of their season so far.
Yeah, definitely a pressure-packed ending to that game as Butler made the winning plays down in Indianapolis to take the victory, but Marquette had in their mind that they wanted to get this one back. They didn't like the way they played in that game, and they probably weren't too happy with the way they played on Friday, so they're looking to end the weekend on a better note.
Both teams are over the limit. Selena Lott couldn't add on to her 3 points. Parker's been the initiator for Butler in this game. Bulldogs sharing the duties when it comes to starting the offense. Spoiler, really the player who will take it to the cup. Bryant looking for a Tuso. The pass inside broken up by Lott with 2 seconds to shoot. Bulldogs have to be aware that Marquette is going to make it difficult as Megan Duffy looks on, telling her team 2 on the clock. Toward Caceres, picked up by Lott. Lott one-on-one in on a Tuso. To send Selena Lott to the foul line.
I think you have to commend the way Spin'gola has played defense so far on Spoiler. And, before this season, Spin'gola, a lot of her efforts when she got in the game was being a three-point sniper, and that has continued this year. But, you're asked to be a leader of this team, and that includes the defensive end, and she's they're on a tough matchup, but Spoiler just 2 for 9 so far in this one.
Yeah, you give a lot of credit there to Spin'gola and the work she put in, and that work started when Megan Duffy got on campus. And for a lot of players like Spin'gola on this Marquette team, Altia Anderson, Chloe Murata, Lauren Van Cloonan, the mode was now you have to rise up as producers, leaders in this program, and players that are going to log a lot of minutes. So how are you going to do that? I think she's gotten the most out of this returning group. Tuso, hard contact on Taylor. It's an offensive foul. Cameron Taylor fired up. And so is her team.
Yeah, she got bulldozed over in the lane. You don't see a lot of offensive fouls like that where there's boom, boom. You know, she was in position. It's what you might call a player control foul, as Tuso a little bit out of control, going right at Taylor as she makes that pass.
That's the 3rd foul on Yupe Atuso. So that will be something to keep eyes on. And Butler already without the services of Yumo Toure. That's a big loss for them. There's a production and ball handling. On the turn, Anderson left-handed.
No wasted movements there for Anderson as she finishes that one.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Marquette forgot about Catherine Strong. Strong with 8 points is the leading scorer for the Bulldogs.
She's making things happen in this second quarter for Butler, trying to get that offense into a better flow.
And I think that's exactly that. Another turnover for Marquette. These offensive fouls and these turnovers really limiting the flow for both of these teams.
That's pretty much a veteran play here by Spoiler. Watch Kafis trying to create some space. She knows that Kafis is a player that hasn't logged a ton of minutes, just entered the rotation a few games ago, but Spoiler has been doing this for a while. Felt the contact, went down, got the call.
Kurt Godlewski's team doing good things defensively. We knew that would be the case coming in. He says we are at our best when we are making big defensive plays. They've done that. They need a few more. It's a 20-point lead for Marquette. Butler 6th in the league in scoring coming into play today at just under 64 points per game. They're 8th in the league in field goal shooting at 38%, 8th in the league in three-point shooting. So this is not a team that's built on piling up a lot of points in a hurry.
Yeah, it's hard to get back in this game where it's a situation where Butler has not shot well and has not done well from three-point range. To get back in this one is going to be hard to cut into a lead like this.
Linda Miles informs us that they're looking to make sure that there is no intentional foul here, as Claire Kafis, you can see, really a push into the chest of Spoiler. We really appreciate Linda coming over here and talking to us. Zach Brost, Scott Freeling having a look at the monitor right now. And so Linda's going to have a look too. Shout out to the officials in the Big East. Always appreciate their efforts and always appreciate their efforts to keep us in the know.
A bit of a push, but I don't see anything that warrants excessive contact as you look at as you think about the rules of the flagrant fouls for the NCAA these days. I wouldn't call that excessive. Would you, Patrick? As we get the official word that it is a common foul being called against Claire Kafis.
Minute 11 remaining in the second quarter for Megan Duffy's team. They've won 7 of 8 games. They've been exceptional in this building, especially in the Big East, defending home court, which is absolutely essential for Marquette as they eyeball their 4th straight appearance in the NCAA tournament. I think coming into play this weekend, they're a little bit better than a bubble team. But that's a fragile thing, as we've seen around the Big East today, Kyle.
This was a big big weekend for Butler, and it's not going as planned, but just each afternoon, evening in the Big East, anything is possible with Providence knocking off St. John's today, 54-53, a real tough loss for the Red Storm as they try to make their case for the NCAA tournament.
That's a team that Joe Tartamella has that has made a really good case for inclusion in the field of 64, but the question will be, will the Big East be able to get potentially 4 teams in between DePaul, Creighton, Marquette, St. John's? Or does a team like Butler have a run in it in the month of March? I think from a metric standpoint, Butler is out of the conversation, but there's no reason to think that they can't go to Chicago and win a championship.
Yeah, and Creighton was looking good, a few weeks ago, and they've had some struggles as of late as they've kind of creeped down the Big East standings.
Final minute of the first half. Cameron Taylor on the move. Selena Lott finds her in motion.
Always in the mix on offense. Taylor makes things happen.
8 points for Cameron Taylor. The lead back out to 20 for Marquette. The lob inside. Butler found some success going from high to low in their game Friday at DePaul, but also, of course, some difficulty with the hands, and Marquette making it tough for Kurt Godlewski's team to find some open space inside the lane. Spoiler fires the 3. That's a needed 3-pointer for Kristen Spoiler.
Kind of shots Butler needs at this point. She's up to 8 points, and just their second 3-pointer, first of this second quarter.
Clock is off for Marquette. Looking for the final possession here in the first half, second quarter. Selena Lott has 4 points in her return to the lineup. No reset, of course, on the kick by Bry. Marquette will take the inbound on the baseline. Lott into Spin'gola. Has 4 threes in the game. And they get her one more here. Inside the arc, it's Spin'gola with a long jumper. Taylor back up. Marquette. Success in the first half. It started with a 25-9 first quarter, and they will walk into halftime with a 42-25 lead on Butler, trying to win their 9th in a row inside the Al McGuire Center. Back to Milwaukee after this.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Back to Milwaukee, where Marquette is in control on its home floor against Butler. As we take our look around the Big East Conference and the other happenings in the league, our players of the week, starting with our Big East honor roll. Of course, one of those players on display here today, Kristen Spoiler. She had a 25-point game last Sunday against Villanova. We talked about her ability to deliver a lot of points in a hurry, had 30 of them against Marquette the first time these teams matched up. So Spoiler honored for her efforts last week. Our player and freshman of the week, well, who else do you find as the freshman of the week? Maddie Siegrist continues her run in her freshman season for Villanova. She is one of the top 10 scorers in the country entering play today. Has made her case loud and clear for Big East Freshman of the Year. And Jalen Agnew is a player that you have to think of as perhaps being a Big East Player of the Year honoree. Had to deal with a concussion. Coming back from that, she came back in a big way last week with 38 points in a game against Providence. So Agnew feeling strong, delivering strong performances for her team. Back to Milwaukee after this. Big East Fast Break is the weekly women's basketball show hosted by Megan Caffrey and Ashley Leotis, breaking down everything in the Big East in women's hoops. You can catch all new episodes of Fast Break during this season every Wednesday at 3:30 Eastern Time on the Big East Twitter and YouTube sites. With Valentine's Day this week, Megan and Ashley spread some love across the Big East.
To spread the love for Valentine's Day that's coming up, look around the league and here are some of the Valentine's Day we have. First, to Seton Hall freshman guard Lauren Parklane and Maya. Start for the Pirates. She is this little engine that provides such a spark. And then Maya, she leads the team in three-pointers. She really pulls when it matters. At 3 3-pointers in the Pirates game, and I think all back to UConn. She had 5 3-pointers in the game. Little girl, big-time shots.
My first spreading with Shantae, and what we heard from her earlier in the show. I was with her for both games this weekend as they made their way into New York. And on Sunday rather, she had a career high of 29 points, a double with 10 rebounds as well. And she's just been 24 points in the first half alone. Really helped her team on Friday as well. Make that big push for the win against St. John. And I was actually talking to her off camera on Sunday and just about some of her career highs. And even hers, word of information, that was a career high. That was a career high. That was a career high. All of these are taking place on Sunday. So lots of love out to her because she had a light out performance this weekend.
Although the Providence Friars record doesn't show it, this Friars team has a fight in them. You look at their game most recently against Creighton, they were down just 5 at a half. And into the third quarter, double digits to single digits. This Friars team, they are young. They have a fight in their last 5 games. For how young they are. In the Friars' last 5 games, their starting lineup has been all underclassmen. They are young. They have a fight in them, and they are showing that.
If I was spreading love around the league, we got to end with love. Oh, yeah. I am talking about Butler, blew the 4th. We saw him a little bit on. He got some screen time earlier this weekend. I think we have a little bit of that video to share with you. There he is. Are you kidding me? Look at that face. Oh, my gosh. He is so precious. He is just so cute. Yeah. Like I said, he is in the training right now. So if you go on social media, he is in puppy love or puppy training. Actually, they're going to be passing the collar to him. Butler the third passing the collar to him. That's happening at Hinkle Fieldhouse on February 29th. Asking everyone to wear white in support of passing the collar. But Butler the third, we thank you for all of your hard work. And Butler the fourth, almost at a puppy school last week, and he's ready to go. He looks well trained. He looks like it there.
I don't think I've ever been more jealous before in my life than when I was watching John Fant and Kim Adams, who were on the call for Butler's game on Monday with the selfies they had. I was just like, I wish I was there right now.
I was just looking away in my lap and called game. That's it. That's all you
street speeding all throughout the game.
Exactly.
Let's take.
All right, Megan and Ashley, they didn't send us any candy hearts, but that's okay. We'll move past that. But the Butler Bulldogs started 2020 with a 9-1 record to move into second place in the Big East standings. So earlier on this week, Megan caught up with Kristen Spoiler and Yuma Torre to hear what's been working for the Bulldogs.
possession, second place in Big East standings at 9-3 in conference play. Had guard senior Kristen Spoiler and freshman Torre. Since the start of 2020, your team has won 8 of your last 9, including a 5-game win streak. What has your team been doing so well together during this stretch?
I just think that after our 2 losses that we took right before the end of the year, we sat there and we had to make sure we could develop ourselves, and the team just coming from the coaches all the way down to the players, coming from the starters to the bench to the entire staff. Just sit there and just be like, what do we need to do to get better? So after we had that meeting, we went on and had practice, and then that's what our record.
Kristen, you scored 25 points in the win over Villanova. However, in the game prior to that, you scored 9 points. You did say after went on to say that that's the key to this, that you don't have to do it all every day. What is this team's offense able to do that allows everyone to get production?
I think it's a key that everybody on our team has the ability to score, whether you see on any given night or not, they do, and that's all the way from all of our starters to our bench. Everybody can score the basketball, and I think everybody be in a position to take good shots. And like I said, I don't have to do it all. It's really key for us to win is that we're going to have 4 people in double digit scoring, and that's really what I think has led to our success.
As a freshman, you have the top 5 in scoring. And have you really felt confidence come on?
I feel like after the first few games, I was a little nervous. It's a new experience playing college ball, and I just watched my sisters play. But I just got comfortable with everything.
And as a senior on the team, how have you taken Ulu under your wing a little bit to help her confidence?
I think I really just how much confidence we all have in her. We really need her to be successful in this team. And so I think that after she's learned some of the plays and stuff, she got more comfortable with everybody and in the plays. And so I think that it just really has led to her confidence and her ability to show everybody what she's capable of, and we all know she had it. And I just want to be more mentor and positive leader. So that's just really what I tried to do this year.
Your team has scoring defense in the league, allowing 58.7 points per game. What is the team able to do so well defensively to limit your opponent's shots?
We just step in, we really struggle for the ball, we're really aggressive, and this goes back to practice. We always, half of our practice is always defense, and so we're always working on that, and just having the mindset that we're going to lock it down defensively, we're going to stick to our principles, and hoping that will translate to offense.
You guys are going to be on the road this weekend, so what is something that you take onto the road that you're going to be doing?
I don't know if I really have a pregame.
Is there a song that you like to listen to pregame?
I have a pregame playlist. I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a ritual, but other than that, I normally like French toast, strawberries, but other than that, I really don't have a.
How about you, Kristen?
I don't really have one on the road. We'll get to practice, we'll watch a little bit of film, then I'll go back and lay down for a little bit, watch TV or whatever that may be, and get ready to go to the gym.
Keys to success. Kristen, thank you so much for joining me. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men, for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
So far, so good for Marquette, trying to get to 11-4. in the Big East Conference and hold on to that second place spot. So Kyle, when we take a look at what happened in the first half, second quarter, I don't know that was the best reflection of basketball, but Marquette managing to shoot 67%, hit those 4 3-pointers. And that's really why we are where we are.
And Spin'gola's been almost the only player to shoot from three-point range. One missed by King, but Spin'gola 4 for 5. Very efficient afternoon for her so far. She missed a 2-pointer late in the second quarter as well. But, I mean, really, three-point shooting has been a big part of why Marquette's been able to extend their lead. Butler struggling, 2 for 11 from three-point range, and just haven't been able to hit shots at a clip that is going to help them to this point.
Meanwhile, what's been good for Marquette has been the play of Isabel Spin'gola. Coming off a 21-point effort, she had 12 in the first half, 4 of 5 from deep. From Marquette, it's been inside, 18 points in the paint, and outside, 4 of 6, and Spin'gola, a big reason why.
Marquette, when they get their shots up, they are very efficient so far in this one, and they've gotten a lot of looks right around the basket, and I think that's why they've been able to hit 67% of their shots so far.
Mention how close it was in the second quarter. Marquette outscoring Butler by just the 1, but that first quarter has Marquette up big on Butler.
You're watching Butler basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah! That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Welcome back. During the break, Butler head coach Godlewski said that he told his team in the locker room they need to get back to playing Butler basketball. He said they're not playing together, and they haven't been playing together for the last 6 quarters that they've played. I asked him, what does playing together mean? What does Butler basketball look like? He said that it means that they're really protecting the ball. They're taking care of the ball, and they're making tight plays. And he said they're just playing too disjointed right now, and he hopes that his talk in the locker room will get them back to that. And Marquette head coach Megan Duffy, she says that she's happy with how they played in the first quarter, and in the second quarter she also was pretty happy with it, but she says that they've lost a little bit of their composure. And she said, we talked about earlier that they've got to out-tough Butler, and the last time that they saw Butler, they were out-toughed by the Bulldogs. She said this time, this is their shot to take it home. Guys.
Piper talking about composure for Marquette. The Golden Eagles turned the ball over 9 times in the second quarter. They did just enough to come away with a 17-point lead at halftime thanks to a big first quarter. And that's where we sit with the second half set to begin. You heard from Piper Shaw along with our great Big East crew in Milwaukee and Kyle Delabe. I'm Patrick Reed. The other thing she talked about, Kyle, that was interesting was that the Butler team is not playing together. And Kurt Godlewski this week talked about how good the chemistry has been and how good the togetherness has been for his Butler team.
Yeah, it's really surprising how the results have played out so far this weekend for Butler, especially with how they've been able to perform in Big East play with the squad that they have. A lot of veterans that can make things happen, especially who we just saw. I missed that layup, Spoiler. She's had a tough afternoon.
Then King at the other end. That was a tough miss for Kristen Spoiler, and she shook her head immediately after that misfire. It's not one you see often from Spoiler, who, again, third in the Big East in scoring coming in at 18.8 points per game, knocking down 42% of her shots from the field. It has just been tough sledding offensively for the Bulldogs, now shooting 29.6%. And King again looking for contact. Mentioned points in the paint for Marquette being a big reason why they were able to jump to a 17-point lead, 18 of them in the first half. Those paint touches so important to the way Marquette runs its offense, not only to get the outside shot, but to score and draw contact and get to the line.
You think about Taylor, Van Cloonan, Anderson, a number of Marquette players are very efficient down in that area.
Isabel Spin'gola, the leading scorer for Marquette in the first half with 12 points. Selena Lott is on the floor and back in the lineup after missing Friday's game against Xavier here. And she runs into trouble as Spoiler got hands out with one to shoot to win it back for Butler. And when things aren't going right offensively for Kristen Spoiler, she brings that effort on defense. And Megan Duffy still sees a disjointed look out there from her team.
And when we talked to Coach Godlewski, one of the ways he described Kristen Spoiler was she's the kind of player coaches dream of, with the way that she can handle things offensively, defensively, and off the floor.
Oh, good handoff inside for Strong. Strong with the point back at Spoiler's direction. Catherine Strong continues a good game. Now the first Butler scorer in double figures.
And just the third assist of the contest for Butler. I think that'd be one thing they could look at to say, hey, let's get our offensive moving a little bit better with some crisper passes.
Anderson on the connection from 15 feet. Now 8 points for Altia Anderson.
And you got to tip your cap on a shot like that by Anderson. If you're Butler, you can give up that look, and if she's going to knock that down, you just have to keep playing.
Fouls were a problem in the second quarter for both teams. As you're looking at the foul situation, Marquette has a couple of players with 2 personals, Claire Cafus and Jordan King. For Butler, a bevy of players sitting on those 2 fouls, including the last one picked up. And Cloonan trying to work around Tuso. And it'll be Marquette ball. And that was Van Cloonan, who in the game has 6 points, and when she touches the basketball, those black shirts get to her right away.
Looked like a triple team down there converging on Van Cloonan, and somehow she came out with the basketball.
So give Selena Lott a look for 3.
First three-pointer for Marquette, not from Spin'gola in the contest.
Spin'gola, the hands on Spoiler. Spoiler receives it from Parker, then draws contact. Selena Lott with her first three-pointer of the game. A stroke that has been one of the better ones in the Big East, shooting 51% from the floor.
Great baseline out-of-bounds play there by Marquette. Van Cloonan picking up her 6th assist of the game. The nice feed to Lott.
So on the 3rd foul for Jordan King, she comes out. Arel Lubo back on the floor. Bry eyeballing Strong on the inside. Good move there by Catherine Strong to get from left to right.
Yeah, Strong with a nice performance. Wearing the Giannis Freak 1 Nikes multi in Milwaukee.
Speaking of Greek, that sounded like Greek to me, Kyle. I'm not a sneakerhead. I like cool shoes, don't get me wrong. I was commenting, of course, on the pink shoes that we see the Marquette players wearing early in the game. I do like Coach Megan Duffy's Air Maxes. I'll throw that out there.
Yeah, Marquette, I think, in their 2nd year with being a Jordan school in the women's basketball program.
Well, Van Cloonan had nobody around her that time.
Jumpman school, depending on how you want to reference the brand.
Which we'll see during the All-Star game in Chicago today in the NBA. Of course, in Jordan's hometown, where he played his basketball. Not his hometown, he's from North Carolina.
Born in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Laney High School.
Laney High School. You got to know this stuff if you grew up in the Chicagoland area.
Yes, you do.
Part of the curriculum.
What they teach you in elementary school, huh? What they should now, part
well,
of history.
I guess we just read it in the newspaper.
Yeah, that's right. You saw it every day.
Oh boy, that was a hard hit by Spoiler. It looks like she possibly might have hit her head on the court.
Toughness is one of the hallmarks of Kristen Spoiler.
Oh,
Spin'gola.
Definitely.
It's a mistake.
At least tapped it on the court. So hopefully she didn't hit it too hard. It looked like the back took the brunt of that hit as she fell down to the court.
Well, concussions have been a storyline around the Big East and women's basketball this season, and we've seen some big players spend some time away from the game because of it. Tapped away by Bry. And it's a foul down low for Butler. Butler, of course, dealing with that issue right now as Yumo Toure is sitting out her second straight game with concussion symptoms. Suffered that injury against Villanova a couple of games back. Did not play against DePaul. She was the steals leader in the Big East. Entering play this weekend, offensive foul before Marquette could get the ball inbounded.
13th turnover for Marquette, but you think about Butler, they don't play a huge rotation. 7 players have seen action, and without Tura in this one, I think it's affected them this weekend. And Ture is the second leading scorer in Big East play for Butler, so she's really stepped up in these conference action for Butler. And when you can only go 7 deep, that's going to hurt you against teams like DePaul and Marquette on the road.
You talk about Toure, 9.2 points per game in Big East play, 31 minutes a game. That's hard to replace. So you're seeing players like Genesis Parker having to take on more minutes. She's already averaging 29 a game.
Yeah, so there's going to be some big minute totals the way it looks like in this one for Butler.
Marquette 3 of 6 shooting the basketball in this quarter. But now 3 turnovers to go along with that here in the third quarter alone. You get a sense that now is the chance for Butler to strike. The lead is below 20. How quickly can they put points on the board? Atuso ran into tough defense. Lubo looking around, sees Taylor. Taylor on the hard cut, lost the basketball. But the help from Spin'gola. Working it on Spoilier's shoulder, down. Offensive foul.
Yeah, again, another situation. The veteran against the freshman. Spoiler feeling the contact from Taylor. Taylor plays with a lot of intensity, a lot of energy. And Spoiler is going to draw the charge there.
Shoulder to the ribs on Spoiler, who has seen her share of contact in this second half already. She's open on the wing. Parker around the tough defensive. Lott can't score.
Yeah. Textbook play there by Lott to not foul in that situation. That is exactly what Parker's looking for, and really what Butler's been trying to do in these last few possessions, trying to draw fouls as they go to the basket and cut into this lead, and really haven't been able to do it.
Into Taylor. Double team around her. To Spin'gola for the 3 from the right side. Butler's been packing it in the paint to give Marquette open looks from outside if they want it. Good post passing in that last sequence for Marquette, but didn't result in the points.
Yeah, good look for Spin'gola. That's exactly the look you're trying for, the way she's been shooting the basketball this weekend.
Lott pushes off her defender and scores. Well, Selena Lott did what she wanted to on that possession. It will stay with Butler.
A little MJ-like push-off right there.
Only fitting on an All-Star Sunday in Chicago, but here in Milwaukee, Big East stars coming to play like Selena Lott.
You're watching Butler basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
We are all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're gonna work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Marquette up 20 on Butler in the third quarter in Milwaukee. Marquette trying to solidify its second place spot in the Big East and solidify a first-round bye in the Big East tournament, which is certainly coveted. Kyle, today we've seen some results that have changed things around. Now, this is the bracket if play started at the start of today's games. That's changed already.
It has changed already with St. John's losing to Providence, but we expect it to change moving forward even more because there's a half game, there's a full game that separates a lot of these teams. I mean, you look from 2 all the way down to 7, there's not a huge amount of games, but if Marquette can hold on, they start to put some space between them and Butler. They could go up a game and a half on Butler if they win this one today.
Butler was a 3 seed in the tournament last year. Their best seed since Coach Kurt Godlewski took over. Butler was in those play-in games 4 straight seasons. Meanwhile, Marquette was a number 2 seed, sharing the regular season championship with DePaul. 10 to shoot. Butler needs points in a hurry starting now. Caceres trying to help. Bry on the turnaround, 1 to shoot. Draws rim, Strong, able to secure the offensive board. It's the second rebound for Catherine Strong, whose best part of her game today has been scoring 12 points for Butler.
And Marquette's still up plus 10 rebounding.
Hard contact, offensive foul on Shea Bry.
Yeah, you love to see that if you're the Marquette coaching staff. A freshman like Kafis stepping right in there and picking up the 4th personal foul on Bry. She'll take a seat on the bench.
Bry knew it immediately, went right to the bench. Really disappointing for her, of course, playing in front of family and friends, playing her final college basketball game in her home state.
It's starting to get late here for Butler.
Taylor can't change that, but Murata grabs the board and will go to the line. Check that, we'll stay on the floor.
Yeah, too many scoring droughts for Butler in this one right now. It's been about 3 minutes since they've scored, 1 for their last 7 from the field.
Some minutes for Claire Kafis. Pass comes in for Murata, but she can't keep it in bounds as it was tipped. And good hands for the Bulldogs to keep Marquette from getting another bucket in the paint. They have 20 of the 51 points they've scored in the lane.
Yeah, Kafis got it in the rotation a couple weeks ago for Marquette and continues to play in every game since then for the Golden Eagles.
Piling up some minutes in Big East play. Has been a good defender as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as right now she works on Nida Caceres. Trying to back her down, and it'll be a foul against Kafis. That will send Butler to the line. It's 5 fouls for Marquette. So this gets Butler back to the foul line, and this is a place where they've been scoring points. Butler averaging Nearly 23 foul shots per game, making better than 15 per contest. And the 22.4 foul shots per game, 7th in the nation and the most in the Big East by a lot. So too good for Naida Caceres, redshirt junior from Spain. And now Caceres will defend and help on the full court pressure here for Butler.
And if you look at these last few minutes, Butler, that's a place where they can get some points maybe at the free throw line.
Oh, Spoiler, outstanding hands, but does it stay in for the Bulldogs? The officials talk it over. It'll be Marquette basketball still.
Good effort, though, by the Bulldogs trying to get that turnover.
It's going to take a little bit more than an effort for Butler. It's going to take a run to get back in this game. And off for Lubo. 10 for Kafis. Kafis spinning into Spoiler. Trouble comes. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors Butler. They have had some teeth on defense in this game. Kristen Spoiler has been a big part of that.
Yeah, you can look back at Butler's performance in this one and been able to force this many turnovers for Marquette. They're up to 17 now. This is one of their toughest performances in terms of turnovers in Big East play.
They're going to have to solve the shooting woes. Now 29% from the field.
Yeah, Marquette's 5 turnovers in the last 5 minutes. Both teams struggling to score as of late in this third quarter.
Bulldogs have missed 6 straight from the field. Caceres trying to change that. Got the pump fake up on Murata. Lubo, right, Spin'gola 3. Kafis the board. A weak side save. There's contact in the lane with Murata hitting the deck. It'll be a foul against Naida Caceres. So both teams have 5.
And the first trip to the line for Marquette in this second half. Both teams have been pretty spectacular from the free throw line.
Marquette's still 10 of 13 from the line. That's okay. Don't need to knock on wood. They've actually been getting better at the line over the last several games. Their 2 games last weekend, they went 82%. Marquette trying to improve from 10th in the Big East in free throw shooting. 65%. But again, Butler can ill afford to trade baskets or trade trips to the line with Marquette. They have only scored 8 points in the third quarter. Spoiler on the turn, tough shot, she'll go to the line.
Yeah, one thing Coach Kurt Godlewski talked about in terms of how Spoiler has improved over the years is really understanding how she can get her shot, and she can score from all different parts of the floor. And Spin'gola committing the foul right there. Spoiler really made that happen. She just kind of cut around and was able to draw the contact. Couldn't get the shot to fall, but she knows how to get to the free throw line and how to put up points.
7th all-time at Butler in scoring. 3rd among active Big East players is Spoiler with better than 1,450 points. And for her day today, now into double figures, one of 2 Bulldogs there. Well, they need contributions beyond that. Meanwhile, Marquette has been pretty balanced offensively. Isabel Spin'gola's 12 lead the way. They try to break this pressure, and Spoiler commits a foul. Check that. That'll be a Marquette timeout. 1:09 to play in the third quarter. Marquette can expect plenty of pressure coming their way, but a big lead at home.
You're watching Marquette Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men, for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Getting ready to talk about Marquette and its tournament resume, and when you talk about tournament play and success, you have to talk about the two in the middle of your picture. Erica Davenport on the left, Danielle King on the right. 2 of 5 of the 1,000-point scorers the Golden Eagles have. They've played in the NCAA tournament each of the last 3 seasons and looking to make it 4 straight.
Marquette in a good position right now to do just that. This would be another big one.
Kafis, 3-pointer. Caceres the rebound and trying to rip it away from Selena Lott, who was not ready to give up on that for Marquette. Spoiler saves it.
Both teams desperate need of a bucket right now.
And especially Butler.
It's been over 6 minutes since their last field goal.
7 to shoot for Spoiler. Getting into space to Sexton. Foul line. Another offensive foul. A moving screen set. It's on Catherine Strong. That is her 4th. We've seen those crop up throughout this game. It's been a focal point for the officiating crew today.
That's where a short rotation can really hurt when you start to get those foul trouble situations.
Off Lubo. And it'll be Butler basketball. They'll have the final possession of quarter number 3.
And Strong's going to stay out there with 4 fouls here. A few seconds left.
$17-point Marquette lead. Strong taking it inside. There's contact there. There's a travel for Strong. And she is really frustrated right now. This game is not out of reach for Butler by any means. So they'll have to push through that frustration, find another gear. Genesis Parker committing the foul on Lubo. Send Marquette to the line. There's Parker. It's her 3rd foul. So when you're looking at players like Bry with 4, she's on the bench. Strong with 4, she's on the floor. Caceres with 3, Parker with 3. Kurt Godlewski's going to have to shuffle the deck to keep his players in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left.
9.5 in this quarter. with the 4th on tap inside the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee. Morel Lubo, just a 30% foul shooter. He's been a freshman that has garnered a lot of minutes for Marquette, especially in Big East play. And she gets 1 of 2. Parker, hard acceleration, offensive foul.
Bang bang call right there. Those are the ones that you definitely have to look at in that situation.
Give Kafis a lot of credit. 1 to shoot. Kafis and Marquette won't get out the final shot. They have done enough defensively. They have earned a big lead over Butler and set for the 4th quarter to try to close this one out.
You're watching Butler women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be. I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Welcome back to the Al McGuire Center, where Marquette leads Butler 53-35, heading into our 4th quarter. Earlier this week, Marquette head coach Duffy was talking about this time in the season can be a little bit of a drag for some teams, and they've certainly felt that a little bit right now. But she said they had to really grind out to get 2 wins at home this weekend, and on Friday night they only had a little bit left in their tank. But so far today, they're pulling ahead, they're playing well, but it might be a little bit of a battle here at the end. Patrick?
Piper, I think that's important to note, especially as we play. This is one of 3 weekends remaining left in the Big East, and Coach Duffy this week, Kyle, told us that she's going to resort to some different things to keep everybody loose, especially on the road. We saw that for them in New York a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, they got out, went to see Aladdin on Broadway with a nice putback there by Van Cloonan to get into double figures, and kind of forget about that Friday night loss, reset, and get back on track. And when you're got a weekend in New York City, you got to take advantage of it.
It was part of an interesting larger conversation about how you deal with losses and deal with tough times on the court as Spin'gola will score it. That is, have a conversation, know who you are, leave it, go do something fun. And that's what the Big East, I think, gives you too, is you're playing in a lot of these larger cities. There are chances to go do things off the basketball court, away from basketball. When you have that day on Saturday between the Friday-Sunday split, to take advantage of it, sometimes is awfully meaningful.
Right, you're not going to have a 2.5-hour really hard practice on that Saturday. You have to really rest and get ready for that next game because it's such a quick turnaround with an afternoon game on that Sunday. So there's not a lot of things that you can do on the basketball floor. You can watch as much film as you want, but at some point you have to do something else. And I think they handled it well on that road trip last weekend after a loss on Friday. They got back on track on Sunday and now are looking for a 2-0 weekend.
Kristen Spoiler tied for 6th all-time now at Butler in scoring. And the 3rd active leading scorer in the Big East with those 1,462 points.
Still a lot to go. Still a few games left, and then the conference tournament. Another turnover for the Golden Eagles. The Butler press has really caused a lot of issues for the Golden Eagles. I think for
the most part, give Marquette a lot of credit for the way they've dealt with it. That's really the first time we've seen the clock run all the way down there as we did with the 10-second violation.
Yeah, they've pushed the tempo and tried to make things happen off of the pressure of Butler at times.
Caceres, Spoiler, quick pass for Strong, picked off by Anderson, who jumped the lane. Anderson with speed.
Anderson now with a double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds. An impressive take. She goes coast to coast, picks the pocket of the Bulldogs, and then goes racing into the lane. Euro steps it, sort of finishes with her right hand.
Big long stride from Anderson, who has been electric this season for Marquette, away from the hands of Bry. Kafis. Marquette slow it down in the front court. To slow the pace a little bit is a good thing right now. Butler's going to continue to bring pressure. Even if you break pressure, that can speed you up. Make things difficult as Anderson rolls it off the front of the rim.
Yeah, tried to get that to drop amongst 3 Butler players.
Butler's defended the lane well, despite the fact that Marquette has scored 26 paint points of the 59 they've put on the big board.
Yeah, the game has been a bit odd at times in this one. You have to look at it with a little bit of nuance. I mean, you have the pressure that Butler's been able to force Marquette into 19 turnovers. You look at the efficiency, though, still for Marquette when they've put it up, 57% from the field. But there's been times where Butler's played really well in their half-court defense. Same thing with Marquette. Obviously, when you hold a team 26% from the field, you're doing a lot of things right on the defensive end, and Marquette's really going to hold themselves to a high standard when it comes to defensively, and they're going to look at this game as a really solid effort on that end.
We opened this show with Piper talking about the fact that the two coaches saw a lot of similarities in almost looking in the mirror at yourself when you look at this game. Butler was a 6-point winner in Indianapolis, doing things they do well, get to the foul line, defend. Marquette had problems shooting the basketball on that night. Lauren Van Cloonan, no problems there. The space comes open for a moment.
And the way Marquette's been able to distribute has really been another one of the differences in this one. Butler with 4 assists, Marquette up to 16 in this game.
To build on the larger points, in that first meeting, Butler out-rebounded Marquette. Marquette had only 8 assists, their second lowest total of the season. But this game today here in Milwaukee looks like a Marquette game, and on paper it does too. As Kyle mentioned, the assists, they're out-rebounding Butler by 11, doing all the things that has made Marquette this season. Spoiler, nice basket and rhythm there.
And it's been the usual suspects for Marquette scoring and the balance scoring. Not a ton from Lott. She does have 9 points and a very efficient 3 for 4, but Anderson, Spin'gola, Van Cloonan all in double figures, and then 9 each for Lott and Taylor. So the players that usually score for Marquette are getting points.
Lob in, Van Cloonan turns.
And looking at Van Cloonan's numbers over the course of the year, she's been so consistent game to game. She's going to get good looks around the basket, and she's going to knock down shots, and that's been a big part of Marquette's success this season.
I think that was a question mark for Van Cloonan coming into the season. Well, the key's been unlocked there. Selena Lotz crossing into double figures with 11.
Yeah, and last year saw a lot of flashes of the way Van Cloonan can play, especially late in the season with the injury to Davenport.
2 buckets, 2 possessions, Selena Lotz. She looks good to go.
Yeah, she's feeling fairly well in her return here for Marquette. Now up to 5 for 6 from the field, playing 30 minutes after being out on Friday.
Spoiler's 3 rattles off. Strong on the board. Catherine Strong with 14 points. Kristen Spoiler leads all scorers with 16. But outside of that, it's been a struggle for Butler. Marquette up 22. Big collision between Spoiler and Anderson.
Yeah, 30 of the 43 between Spoiler and Strong for Butler. That is a high percentage coming from just 2 players.
Remember, this is a team that's missing Yumo Toure, freshman from Kennewick, Washington, who was a highly touted freshman coming out of high school. 4-star recruit, has delivered the goods in her first season at Butler. Had 9+ points a game in the Big East, but unable to go because of concussion symptoms. Anderson left-handed with the hands of Kafis, saved by Anderson. 20 on the shot clock, looking for Spin'gola, comes to the hands of Strong. Strong kicks it back. Tuso's 3, splash it. Much needed 3-point basket for Butler, their first of the half, just 3 for 15 from 3-point range.
Yeah, coming off a turnover by Marquette, they get the 3-point, and that's 20 turnovers for Marquette in a game where they now lead by 22.
And Isabel Spin'gola with 17 adds to that. So push the lead. Baseline Spoiler.
Spin'gola putting her name in the hat for Big East Player of the Week.
Yep. 21 Friday, 17 so far. 6 for Taylor. Tia Anderson's had a nice game too. Tough shots. Taylor had hands inside on the ball, but it's a foul. Marquette has plenty to celebrate on this Sunday. Isabel Spin'gola delivering another big performance for her team. She has knocked down 5 from 3-point range, showing off her talents in Milwaukee.
You're watching Marquette basketball on Big East Digital Network.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt. We don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men, for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
Marquette up 22 points on Butler inside the Al McGuire Center. The road is not going to get much easier for the Bulldogs from here on out. They will be back at Hinkle for a couple of games next weekend against Creighton, against Providence. Creighton continues to surge behind Jalen Agnew. Butler 11-4 at home this season. Hinkle's been a tough place to play, so they'll try to defend home court. Then they've got the St. John Seton Hall trip to close out the regular season. Kirk Godlewski's team is looking ahead to try to make its noise in the Big East tournament. Their RPI, their other metrics probably not going to help them get to the NCAA tournament, but certainly postseason play if they can't come out with the auto bid from the championship in Chicago.
I mean, you look at prior to this weekend, how impressive they were on the road. They were really good. I mean, you know, DePaul, obviously, it's a really tough game, and Marquette now facing off against the second-place team in the conference. It's a tough weekend, but they've been a good road team.
Three-pointer from Amelia Sexton. Sophomore delivers the outside shot. She's only shooting 26% from outside. 70-49, Marquette's lead on Butler. 3 minutes to play in regulation. Kafis drives to the block, changes hands. First points for Claire Kafis.
Pretty impressive, the confidence that she's shown for Marquette as of late in Big East play. Just making a play like that, taking some charges. Not afraid to rough it up out there, and what can be a rugged Big East sometimes.
More depth is never going to hurt you, so to get a player like Kafis up to speed, freshman from Shawnee, Kansas, she has proved her mettle in Big East play.
Yeah, you just never know when you're going to need to have that depth, that performance off the bench, especially this time of year.
Bench players from both teams will have time to perform now, as both Kurt Godlewski and Megan Duffy clearing their benches. 2.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Kick out to Kafis. Struther the rebound. Destiny Struther just checking in for Marquette. Murata trying to roll into the double team. She'll travel with the basketball.
Yeah, you just don't see numbers like this too often. A 23-point lead. Marquette having 21 turnovers, but also 20 assists on 27 made baskets.
The 21 turnovers normally spell a loss.
Not a 20-plus point victory.
No.
But when you hold the opponent to shooting under 30% from the field, victory. So,
no doubt it was a factor for both teams, especially when it came to offensive fouls. A lot of those have been whistled today. Dipping up and under is Taylor. Nice move from Cameron Taylor.
5 players in double figures as Taylor has 13 in just 19 minutes. It's pretty impressive the way she's been able to score in the time that she's out there, always putting up shots and getting them to fall.
Sexton has a three-pointer in her time off the bench. Ross on the drive. Count that for Ellen Ross, who came into this weekend with no points for the season. Picked up her first points of the campaign Friday at DePaul.
Struther with the reach in there and gets whistled for the foul.
Well, Marquette has done the job defending its home court. Cameron Taylor will check out. This will be their 9th straight win at home. next weekend at Villanova, at Georgetown, then back on March 1st. Well, the showdown against first place DePaul. Those two matched up in their very first games of the Big East season in December. Scheduling quirk. Normally they would match up at the midway point. But instead you'll put a marquee matchup at the end of the season, which, as Taylor Valladay scores underneath, maybe at the beginning of the season when the schedule was made, that wasn't going to be the case because DePaul was picked to finish at the top of the Big East. Marquette was picked 9th out of 10 teams.
And now
I don't think anything more has to be said about that.
It looks like it could be, a preview of a possible Big East title game, depending on how things play out. But DePaul just seconds away from clinching a share, at least a share of the Big East title, as they are up big on Xavier right now down in Chicago.
Yeah, Doug Bruno's team has really been clicking on all cylinders this season. With a Player of the Year candidate in Kelly Campbell down there, who delivered a triple-double just a couple of weeks ago, second of her career. Meanwhile, here in Milwaukee, Marquette's enjoying a 22-point lead over Butler. It will split the regular season series. Sexton jumps the lane. Ross on the hop step in. Now Marquette can take the final seconds off the clock. They'll improve to 20-6, hitting the 20-win mark. That's a big threshold in any program to get there. Megan Duffy doing that in year 1 as the head coach at Marquette. The Golden Eagles still have plenty of work to do on this season, but today, a 76-54 win over Butler. We're back to Milwaukee after this.
You're watching Marquette Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men, for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Welcome back. Marquette has just taken down Butler, and I'm here with Altia Anderson. Altia, Coach Duffy said that it was really important for you guys to win both games at home this weekend. You've done it. What did it take?
Focus, commitment. I mean, going hard in practice, shoot around, making sure we show up every day. Yeah, that's what it took. Yeah.
And Coach also says that you have been playing very well lately, and you're starting to find your role on the team, a double-double for you today. What's clicking?
What's up? What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, what's clicking for you?
I mean, knowing my role and buying in. You know, Coach Duffy told us what we had to do. We all got roles. We wrote them down in our journals, and you look at it every day and understand that I got to fulfill that.
How's it feel to get Butler off your back?
Great. I mean, it's another dub. Big East ball.
There you go. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Nice to meet you too, guys.
10 points, 12 boards for Altia Anderson, hitting double-double territory. Anderson and Marquette, big winners at home today over Butler. They have won their 9th in a row inside the Al McGuire Center. The Golden Eagles 11-4 in the Big East, solidly in second place, and 20-6 overall. Butler now 9-5 in league play. For Piper Shaw, for Kyle Delabe, and for everyone on our Big East Digital Network crew, I'm Patrick Reed, saying so long from Milwaukee. Marquette 76, Butler 54.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.